It's not just one of the greatest political thrillers of all time, it's also the film that made a young Pat want to be a journalist. Today's pick of the day is All the President's Men. Film Club Pick of the Day. My name is Pat Kelman. I'm a film distributor based in Cornwall, and I set up Pat's Film Club about 2 years ago to encourage people to go back to the cinema by making going to the cinema an event again. I run monthly screenings at the Plaza Cinema in Truro, and we've started expanding across the southwest and across the rest of the UK, and you can find details about all our screenings on patsfilmclub.com. Now, I appreciate we can't all get to the cinema, so every day I am recommending a film available on free-to-air television that I think is an absolute banger and that you really must see. Today's film is on BBC4 tonight at 9 p.m, and it's Alan J. Pakula's 1976 political thriller All the President's Men, starring Dustin, Hoffman and Robert Redford. All the President's Men tells the gripping true story behind the Watergate scandal. Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman star as Washington Post reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. The film chronicles their relentless investigation into the break-in at the Democratic National Committee headquarters and the ensuing cover-up that led to President Nixon's resignation. This 1976 classic delves into the meticulous process of uncovering one of the biggest political scandals in American history. The director Alan J. Pakula was known for his meticulous and atmospheric storytelling. In his book Adventures in the Screen Trade, screenwriter William Goldman talks about a scene in this film where the actors were encouraged to do multiple takes, each take with a different variant on tone or meaning or emphasis. And after numerous takes, one of the actors kind of exploded and went, "Alan, tell us what you want. What do you want from us?" And what Pakula replied, I think, was brilliant. He just said, "I want you to give me all the riches." When this film came out, Alan Pakula was on a roll. He'd made the brilliant thriller Clute in 1971, starring Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland, the film that won Jane Fonda a Best Actress Oscar. He then followed it up with the incredible political paranoid thriller The Parallax View, starring Warren Beatty. And actually, if you're in the UK, there's a possibility you may be able to see The Parallax View on the big screen at a cinema near you. The organisation Cinema Rediscovered, based at the Watershed in Bristol, has released the film wide across the UK at indie cinemas. So there's a very good chance you'll be able to catch it if you have a look for it. It's an extraordinary film, well worth watching. Beatty is phenomenal, and it's a really, really great film. Like All the President's Men, these films show Pakula's ability to build tension and to create really complex, often paranoid narratives. Clute, of course, is a film about a cool girl who's being stalked, and the fear and the tension is palpable in almost every frame. And The Parallax View, very much like All the President's Men, delves into government corruption with an investigative journalist uncovering more than he anticipated. The film could almost be called a procedural in that we get a real sense of how to be an investigative journalist. We follow Redford and Hoffman playing Woodward and Bernstein as they go about their daily activities, pitching stories to their editor, Ben Bradley, played by the extraordinary Jason Robards, and making phone calls, chasing up leads, trying to find stories, researching in libraries, looking at microfiches, all this kind of stuff. We're looking at the detail of how to be a journalist. This is evidenced brilliantly in one particular scene where Bob Woodward, played by Robert Redford, makes a series of phone calls to piece together crucial information. It's particularly remarkable for its unbroken shot. It focuses totally on Redford's performance, highlighting the tedious and often frustrating nature of journalism. You see him make call after call after call, being rebuffed, and we see it building not just in the character but also in the actor. This technique of using long takes to build tension and immerse the audience in the character's experience is a hallmark of Pakula's style. While we're talking about Pakula's technique, another key sequence in the film is when Woodward meets up with the informant Deep Throat. The scene takes place in a dark, shadowy parking garage, and the use of light and shadow creates an atmosphere of danger and suspense, and it emphasises the risks involved in uncovering the truth. the actor's brilliant work is reinforced by this style. And Pakula's collaboration with cinematographer Gordon Willis, known as the Prince of Darkness for his skillful use of shadows, is really evident here. Willis's work on The Godfather also brought a similar visual style, and it makes scenes both visually striking but thematically resonant as well. All the President's Men fits seamlessly into Pakula's filmography, which is characterised by investigation, political intrigue, corruption, moral ambiguity, but ultimately the quest for truth. The film, I think, stands out in Pakula's filmography for its dedication to realism and its reverence to journalistic integrity. And I think it's a real testament to Pakula's versatility that he can handle both fictional and real-life narratives with such skill. The film's dedication to accuracy, realism, and authenticity can be seen in almost every aspect of the production. Redford and Hoffman spent months at the Washington Post hanging out with Woodward and Bernstein, observing journalists, sitting in with interviews, anything they could do to get a sense of the truthfulness of being these characters. And I think it shows in every moment of their performances. They're both extraordinary in the film. This approach can also be seen in the screenplay, where a lot of the dialogue is taken from transcripts and recordings from the investigation. And this approach really paid off in spades. The film was nominated for multiple Academy Awards, winning Best Adapted Screenplay for William Goldman, and also Best Supporting Actor for the brilliant Jason Robards, who plays the editor of the Washington Post, Ben Bradley. I personally love this film. It's one of my favourite films of all time. And I first saw it when I was 14 at the Regal Cinema in Redruth when the film came out. And I was taken then, of course, by the story and the propulsive narrative and also the inspirational characters. I actually wanted to be a journalist as a result of this. And I've been very lucky in my life. You know, if you'd asked me when I was 13 what I wanted to be when I grew up, I'd have said I want to be an actor, and I want to be a journalist, and I want to be a filmmaker. And I've had the opportunity to do all of these in my life. But with All the President's Men, that was my first real inspiration to get into journalism and writing. As the years have gone by, I've grown to love this film even more because of its intelligent and meticulous storytelling. And I'm in awe of the film's dedication to realism and its focus on the procedural aspects of being a journalist. I think it's both educational and thrilling to watch. I really do. And to watch the step-by-step gradual uncovering of the Watergate scandal and the determination and almost heroism of Woodward and Bernstein make the film an incredible watch. It really does. And a real tribute to honest journalistic ethics, which are so important, particularly in these days. So if you do love a brilliant true life story that is told absolutely beautifully by a master of his craft, working with actors at the top of their game and one of the greatest screenwriters of all time, then I couldn't recommend this film any higher. And if you want to watch All the President's Men, it's on BBC 4 tonight at 9 p.m. And I really couldn't recommend it any more highly. And if you've enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe on YouTube by hitting the button below. Or if you're listening to the audio version, subscribe on your podcast feeder. And if you can give us a review and a rating, that would be amazing to help get us visibility. You can also follow Pat's Film Club on our socials. We're on Instagram, TikTok, X and Facebook. And also you can go to patsfilmclub.com and subscribe to our mailing list where you hear about all the new events we've got coming up. And in a moment, there'll be a little promo of the event that's currently happening in August in Cornwall, rest of the Southwest, and also around parts of the UK.
Horror fans, prepare for a night of terror. Pat's Film Club presents Wes Craven's 1977 grindhouse classic, The Hills Have Eyes, playing at 9 venues across the UK on August 16th, 23rd, 24th and 25th. From the director of Nightmare on Elm Street, this gritty, grungy film pushes the horror genre to the extreme. Tickets are going fast. Visit patsfilmclub.com. Do you dare to watch?
So thanks ever so much for watching the episode today, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow. We'll have another recommendation for Pat's Film Club Pick of the Day. Thanks so much for listening. Our theme tune today was composed by Modern Music, licensed via pixabay.com.